Good morning, students. Welcome you all to today's English class. Today we will continue with the sixth lesson, the 100 dresses too. We have already studied a part of this lesson, and this lesson, as it is a continuation of lesson 5, the 100 dresses 1, so we will summarize what we have already read, and then we will continue with the rest part of the story. Now, as we are told in the story, lesson 5, that it is the story of Wenda Petnowski. She is a Polish girl who is living in Chicago and studying in an American school. But she is always made fun of because of her unusual name, and she belongs to a poor family. She wears a blue faded dress always. So her classmates, they make fun of her. They ask her the same question every day, that how many dresses she had. And now Wenda Petnowski, she answers quite unusual that she had 100 dresses all lined up. That arouses curiosity among all these students, and secondly, they all think that she tells a lie. Her classmates Peggy and Maddie, Peggy specially asked her this question, and she just wants to know that why she tells a lie, because she has only a blue faded dress, but why she tells that she has 100 dresses lined up in her closet. So, and they also make fun of her. She sits quietly in the class, and she sits on the last bench, but the other students, they don't bother why she doesn't talk and why she is not behaving in a normal way, why she is not talking to the classmates. They don't bother, they just make fun of her. And after that, what happens, that there was a drawing competition, and now it was a day when all the drawings were displayed in the room, and the teacher had to announce the winner. Okay, so the teacher, when the drawings were displayed in the room and when the students enter the class, they were all surprised to see the kind of drawings which were made by a student, and they were all lined up, and they were all of different colors, different designs, and these were of dresses. So they were all surprised, and then Miss Mason, the teacher, she announced the result, and she told that Wenda Petnowski was the winner of this contest, because even her single drawing could win her a prize, but she had prepared 100 dresses, and all of different colors, different designs, okay, and they were so impressive. So now Wenda is not coming to school for many days, okay, and even that day she was not there to get her applause, to get her prize. And Maddie, what she was thinking, that she should go to her place and tell her that now they would not make fun of her, they would be good with her because she is so genius, okay. And Peggy also had the same opinion. So now these two girls, they went to Bogans Heights where she lived, and now what happens, and before that, the teacher has also received a letter, and she read it in the class, that now Wenda Petnowski would not come to school because her father had written that she was made fun of because of her unusual name, and now they are shifting to a big city because there are so many people like that. And it was all disheartening for the teacher as well as all the students. Okay, now she was going to some other place. So Peggy and Maddie decided that they should go to her place to convince her that she should stay there, and they would not make fun of her, and they would be good with her. So they went to Bogans Heights. So now, did they find her? What happened next? Let's read and find out the story. So this part we have already read. Now we will start with this. Yes. Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wenda. So now they were going to Boggins Heights and she hoped that they would find Wenda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry that they had picked on her and how wonderful the whole school thought she was. So now they just wanted to feel sorry for all they had done and they just wanted to convey her that the school would be good with her now. And please not to move away and everybody would be nice. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. So now Peggy and Maddie would be her friends and they would take care of her. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get the top of the hill before dark. So now these two girls, they went to Boggins Heights and they just wanted to go there before dark. I think that's where the Petnosky live, said Maddie, pointing up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. Now they were just wandering around and just trying to find out where Petnoskys live. The house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. It reminded Maddie of Wenda's one dress, her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. So now they just looked where Wenda lived, would be living, and now house and its sparse little yard. Now there was a little yard also. It was quite shabby but very clean. So it reminded Wenda's dress also, that she was blue faded dress, but it was thoroughly clean. There was not a sign of life about the house. There was nobody in the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. So nobody answered. She just knocked the door. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. So they again went to backyard. They knocked there too, but there was no answer. There was no doubt about it. Petnosky were gone. So now it was clear that Petnoskys had left the place. How could they ever make amends? How they could show that one is they are sorry for their things. They turned slowly and made their way back down the hill. They hurriedly went up the hill because they wanted to find her, but now they were quite slow and they were slowly coming down. Well, anyway, said Peggy, she has gone now. So what can we do? So now Peggy, what she was saying, that what can they do now? She has gone. Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. Actually, Peggy was not regretful of what she had done to her. What she said, that she might be getting, when we were asking about her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. She might not even have won the contest otherwise. So now what Peggy had the impression that otherwise she would not have got the prize, and she had got better ideas for her dresses because of her teasings. Okay, that was all they had done good to her. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, because she did not take that idea in her head, means she did not get that in her mind, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. And if she realizes this thing, if she also feels the same, so she would not feel badly about her. But that night she could not get to sleep. Okay, now what she wanted, they just wanted to console themselves, because otherwise they had done bad with her, but they just wanted to console themselves. But that night Maddie could not sleep. She thought about Wenda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in, and she was just thinking about her little house, and she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, and she just thought about those 100 dresses which was prepared by Wenda, all lined up in the classroom. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought. And at last, Maddie could not sleep, and she just sat in her bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought, what they had done with her. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. So now she had a hard thought about all such things, and now she came to a conclusion. What she had concluded? She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. So now what she had decided, what Maddie has decided, that now she would never be there with Peggy all the time. She would not favor her, and she would say nothing again. What she decided, that she would always object if there is anything wrong, if anyone is remarked badly, that she would object to it. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange name, she would speak up. Now what she had decided, that if anybody would say wrong, would make funny remarks on anyone or for their strange name, she would speak up. Even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. And now what she was thinking, if she would have to lose Peggy's friendship, that doesn't matter. But she would stand against abusive language, funny, making fun. She would just stand against them. She had no way of making things right with Venda. But from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. She had no way of making things right with Venda. Now she could not do anything right with Venda. She could not amend what they had already done. But now she would stand with anyone who would be teased, who would be made fun of. Now she would be standing with those people. Okay? And she would never make anyone unhappy again. Next it is given, yes, on Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Venda Petnowski. On Saturday, she wrote a letter to Venda Petnowski. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Venda she had won. They had just told her that she had won the contest, okay, and it was a friendly letter. They told her how pretty her drawings were, and they praised her drawings also. And they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. And they were asking about her living place, whereabouts, where she was living now, whether she was happy there or she was liked by her new teacher. They had meant to say they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter. They wanted to say sorry, but they just wrote a friendly letter, the kind they would have written to any good friend. But they had written a letter, just they were writing to a good friend. And they signed it with lots of love. X for love. Okay, lots of X for love means she had left the place, so they just signed it with lots of love. They mailed the letter to Boggins Heights, writing please forward on the envelope. So they mailed the letter to Boggins Heights, and so that it could be forwarded to where she was living now. Days passed and there was no answer, but the letter did not come back. Many days passed, but there was no answer. They did not get any letter back. So maybe Venda had received it. Maybe Venda had received the letter or not. Perhaps she was so hurt and angry, she was not going to answer. Maybe she was so hurt and angry about all such things that she was not going to answer her letter. She could not blame her. You could not blame her. You could not blame, because she was right in her place. Weeks went by and still Venda did not answer. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business. Now Peggy she was not regretful of what she had done. So she had begun to forget about all such things. But Maddie put herself to sleep at night, making speeches about Venda, defending her from great crowds of girls who were trying to tease her with. But Venda but Maddie, she was so regretful, and in her sleep, she made speeches about Venda or defending her from the girls, those who were teasing her, and she was just narrating all that in her sleep. How many dresses have you got? And before Venda could press her lips together in a tight line, the way she did before answering, Maddie would cry out, stop. तो उसको सपने आते थे इस तरह के कि अब वो जब भी कोई उससे इस तरह के क्वेश्चन पूछता है तो she is just going to say, just stop. Nobody would ask her such question. Then everybody would feel ashamed the way she used to feel. And now everybody would feel ashamed. Now it was Christmas time and there was snow on the ground. Now it was Christmas time, snow on the ground, Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. There were Christmas bells, tree that was decorated in the classroom. On the last day of school before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. On the last day of the school before holidays, the teacher showed another letter that she had received that morning. Where had the letter come from? You remember Venda Petnowski, the gifted girl artist who won the drawing contest? Well, she has written me and I am glad to know where she lives. And now I have got a letter from Venda Petnowski and she has written, I have come to know now where she is living, okay, and she had won the drawing contest. The class sat up with a sudden interest and listened intently. Now they just wanted to listen what she had written. Dear Miss Mason, how are you? And room 13. How are my classmates? Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses because in my house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. So now please tell the girls that they can keep the 100 dresses. All the dresses are for these girls. They can keep all these because I have prepared new 100 dresses all lined up in my closet. I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of green dress with the red trimmings and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. So now she had specially remarked that Peggy should get the green dress with the red trimmings and Maddie should have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. For Christmas, I miss that school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. And what she had already said, she thanked the teacher, she thanked her classmates, and she said that my class, my new teacher, that is not equal to you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Venda Petnowski. Now this letter was written by Venda Petnowski, and now on the way home from school, Maddie and Peggy held their drawings very carefully. Now they had got the green and blue dress. All the houses had rents and holes in the window. Outside the grocery store, hundreds of Christmas trees were staked, and in the window, candy, peppermint sticks, and corcopotes of shiny, transparent paper were strung. The air smelled like Christmas, and light shining everywhere reflected different colors on the snow. Okay. So now what is there, that all the places, they were all decorated for Christmas. Okay, they were staked in the hundreds of Christmas trees were staked in the windows, candy, peppermint sticks, and cornucopias of shiny cornucopias are decorative containers. They were all there, shining, strung. Okay, so all that was beautifully decorated. Boy, said Peggy, this shows she really likes us. Now what she was saying to Maddie, that she liked us. It shows she got our letter, and this is her way of saying that everything's alright. Now she has written the letter and she has specially mentioned our names. That means everything is right, alright from her part. and that's all good. Okay, she is not angry with her, she is not upset, and she is happy. She has written the letter, even she has gifted us the special drawings. I hope so, said Maddie sadly. She felt sad because she knew she would never see the little tight-lipped Polish girl again and could ever really make things right between them. Now, what she says that now Maddie was felt sad about all that because she knew that she would never meet that Polish girl again, and she could never make the things right between them. Okay, she could not feel sorry. Okay, she went home and she pinned her drawing over a torn place in the pink flowered wallpaper in the bedroom. She went home and she put that drawing over a torn place in the pink flowered wallpaper in the bedroom. The shabby room came alive from the brilliancy of the color, because Maddie was also a poor girl, the room was quite shabby, but the drawing made the place colorful, brilliancy of the colors. Maddie sat down on the bed and looked at the drawing. She had stood by and said nothing, but Venda had been nice to her anyway. What Maddie was feeling, that she looked at the drawing, and what she felt, that she never stood by her, said nothing. She never objected to other students that they should not make fun of her, but Venda had been nice to her anyway. Tears blurred her eyes and she gazed for a long time at the picture. Now there were tears in her eyes and she just looked at the picture for a long time. Then hastily she rubbed her eyes and studied it intently. Then suddenly she rubbed her eyes and studied that picture intently, very carefully. The colors in the dress were so vivid that she had scarcely noticed the face and head of the drawing. The colors of the dress were so clear, so vivid, so broad that she never noticed the head of the drawing. But it looked like her. But when she noticed carefully, it looked as if the drawing was of her. Maddie, it really looked like her own mouth, and it just resembled Maddie's face. Why it really looked like her own self? Why it was all like her? Venda had really drawn this for her. Excitedly, she ran over to Peggy's. So now she was so excited that this drawing was specially made for Maddie. And then she ran to Peggy's place to tell her all that. Peg, she said, let me see your picture. Show your picture which you have got from the school. What's the matter? Asked Peggy as they clattered up to her room where Venda's drawing was lying face down on the bed. Now, and they went to her room, that was cluttered room, all the things were scattered in the room. So Venda drawing was also lying in the room, that was face down, ulti taraf se rakhi hui thi. Maddie carefully raised it. Look, she drew you, that's you. She has drawn your picture, she exclaimed. And the head and the face of her picture did look like Peggy. And the head and face of her picture that exactly remembered Peggy's face. What did I say? Said Peggy. She must have really liked us anyway. So now what could I say? She liked us, and that's why she had prepared dresses for her. Yes, she must have, agreed Maddie, and she blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Venda. Now again she started weeping, and as she remembered Venda standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking softly over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off, after she had said, sure, 100 of them all lined up. And very embarrassing situation it was, and always she was in the schoolyard facing the girls. Girls were a group of girls laughing at her, and she walked off always with a firm voice. Yes, 100 of them all lined up. All these are 100 dresses I have, and these all are lined up. So this is what we have read in the story, and this is all about teasing, okay, ragging, or it is all making fun of the students. This is all sometime that leads to some disasters. So that should not be there in schools or in the colleges, and this lesson is all about discussing all about these things. So that is given in the story. Okay. Any kind of discrimination should not be there, and it can destroy, it torture, who suffer it silently. So we should stop all that, and it should be a conducive environment for all the students. Okay, so that is all about this lesson. So other questions we will discuss in the class. With that, thank you.